I really appreciate you.
Thank you, man.
Family, this is the AfriOne show. I call him my Egbon. He's my big brother. I was saying to him off air before we start how this is one of the men that made me understand that there is a country called South Africa. And I think maybe he has to give us an idea of what happened in that period. Because a lot of people have forgotten that very particular show. I promise you a lot of people have forgotten. It's called African Awake.
Africa Awake, yeah.
Is it African Awake?
Africa.
Okay.
Africa Awake.
I remember that time we were planning to come to, I was looking, my plan was, and this is the thing people don't understand.
Yes.
My plan was not even to be in South Africa. My plan was Switzerland.
Okay.
For strange reason, the guy who was doing the visa for us, I don't know what slapped the guy. He went to slam South Africa for us. And I'm like, what the hell? So by the time the South African visa came in, I was looking at the South African visa. I'm like, oh my God. Now, at that moment, I now need to look, okay, where is this country? But I know that the one in my head was Madiba. So I thought it's called Madiba land because obviously many of us in Nigeria, we always know about this Nelson Mandela issues and co. So not until one day, I'm like, okay, this South African, let me begin to check. So that time, this thing, Yahoo just started. It's not even Google. Yahoo just started. So I went there, clicked, and I saw African Awake. I'm like, which is this one again? I pressed the thing. I'm like, oh, Nigeria is in that country. That's interesting. And literally, I'm being honest. I'm like, okay, that's Kunle Ayo. Nigeria also stays in South Africa. As funny as that sounds, literally, that is how I got to know about the country. And
Interesting.
Story long, cut short, I'm here. How has it been thus far? Let's just for the audience sake.
Yeah.
How long have you been in this country?
I moved to South Africa in 2002. That would make it, 22 years now?
You're a shareholder.
Yep. I've been in South Africa for the last 22 years, and music was what really brought me here. I came in when I was looking for a licensing deal for my first record at the time. And, it was a very tedious process. So coincidentally, a friend of mine was starting a studio. So she then gave me some money to say, come help me buy some equipment. America is far, London is, not that cheap. South Africa is closer, and it's probably going to be relatively cheaper to buy studio equipment. So I came in with a couple of thousands of dollars at the time, and I helped her I bought some equipment for her to keep back. But in the process of staying here for like 2 weeks or so, at the time, I would then start, looking for a recording company that would take my demo.
Okay.
Yeah, the time I was recording my my first album, and that time I was working with Lagbaja.
Oh, Lagbaja,
Yeah.
that's another name.
Yeah, I was working with Lagbaja. We were traveling around.
Okay.
And so visas were not really a problem. I had visas at the time. So that was why my friend said, you don't need to go apply for a visa. You have it. Just quickly, let me buy you a ticket and quickly help me buy some of this equipment. So that was how it started for me. And then I said, okay, let me just come and, see the country, see what potentiality is there for me. Because in 98 to 2000, jazz wasn't really big in Nigeria. I mean, it's big in the context of that people who love it and follow it. But mainstream, there was nothing like that.
Okay.
Nobody was really coming out to say, I'm a jazz artist. We don't have people, of course, we have people who play instrument, the Kings on the Ades and the Chief of Blizzard Bass that I had the privilege of working with. They play instruments, but they were not jazz musicians.
Okay.
So I then decided that I wanted to, I know Mike Aremu, I think he started in 2000. And he had his, instrumental gospel project that he did at the time that was really nice. And, but I didn't want to do gospel.
Okay.
I really didn't feel like I was called to be in the gospel space.
Okay.
But I just wanted to, just play the instrument. And thank God in South Africa there was Jimmy Dludlu and a few other great guys at the time. So that was what it then informed me to say, let me try this country. Maybe they will accept, because at the time I had already started selling my cassettes at the time in Nigeria, cassettes.
Yes.
And but it wasn't massive. It was just small churches here and there, and it wasn't really. So when I came, I met people, and I came back again the second time. Then I met Universal Music.
Okay.
Who then, through God's grace, somehow.
So it's not that the first time you came in, you stayed, you used to do in and
No.
out?
I did in and out about 3 times before I decided to stay.
Okay.
Only after I got the deal from Universal Music.
Oh, okay.
Then I said, you know what? I need to stay and promote.
Okay.
promote this record because there was no way I would be going back and forth. Not in my, my bill. It wasn't going to be making sense. And I'd already finished, helping my friend buy her, equipment, and so it then means that I have to start digging into my own pocket to start buying tickets. So I thought, let me stay and see. But it's been a roller coaster ride, with the permits and
because I almost wanted to ask you that before we even get to the permit, in terms of accessing your visa from Nigeria, how easy was it that time compared to now? Obviously now, I don't know if you still get permits. I mean, visas stuff. Yeah. But that time, I think you said 2000?
2000, yeah. Started in 2000, but I came in 2001.
Okay.
Yeah. The first time I came was 2001 when I traveled with Lagbaja. So I started working with Lagbaja in 2000.
Okay.
So then we started traveling around the world. I did a lot of European countries. So my passport was nice.
Oh yeah. So your passport is like how we say your passport has been disvirgin.
Exactly. So it was easy for me to go to any country and apply for a visa at that time.
Yeah.
So I didn't really have a problem. But luckily for me also, working with Lagbaja, we don't even appear. We just take our passport, get the visa, then bring it back to us. We travel, and we come back to Nigeria and do whatever. So at the time, permits were not an issue. But when I came into the country, it was unfortunate for me that when I wanted to renew my visa, there was problem.
Wow.
From the first week that I got in, I've had problems.
So which means that was... Let me just count back 20 years. Let's just say 20 years. Plus.
Yes.
So from that first time, 20 years ago.
Yes.
So which means this visa issue that we're seeing now.
Yes.
I think for me, I've been here for going to 15 years now. So there's no wonder you're still my egg ball. Because even in the land, you touched the land before me. It's like how my wife like cracking joke. He says, certain people see the sun before you. So you need to respect. So you touch the land. So from that time, which is 20 years ago, the visas issues has always been there.
Yeah.
Compared the process from that time till now, how is the process like?
Well, there were seasons where, period of, because they changed laws every 5 years or so.
Okay.
There were seasons where it would become easy, there was a time I got my 5-year
visa
permit.
Okay, yeah.
My 5-year permit straight based on my business. It was easy. But over time, it would change in a particular season, and then it would change in another season. We know now in this season, it's really pretty difficult.
Very difficult.
They're not even renewing permits, and just so many political stuff going on, and it's making it difficult for people to want to say, I want to quickly go to London and quickly go to this and quickly go to that. That was one country that I used to go almost every year. But in the last couple of years now, it's not been easy, because the season. So we hope that South African government will look at it and understand that free travel helps promote economic issues. So it is what it is. But we are here now.
Exactly. That's what I want to say. We are here now. Now, in your 20 years being in the country, because part of the things we're talking about off it's the whole issue of African movement. Obviously, the AU and the African free trade. There's a lot of alphabet attached to it. From your experience thus far, can you say that Africans, and you as an African staying in South Africa, can you say the movement for you, because I don't want to generalize, the movement from one country to another has been very easy for you?
Well, I sometimes think that the people that kind of hold the power in the world, they're making travel for Africans difficult. It's easier for me to get a British visa and an American visa. I could get a visa to any other country in Africa, but the travel is not even easy. The airlines sometimes, the way they even run, the way they've been kind of wired, it's not easy to travel even amongst ourselves. And because development has been there, Africans took developments to Europe and America.
So they don't want us to develop ourselves indirectly.
So because of the development that is there, I want to rather go to America. And propaganda going on the streets of Africa, on the African streets, is that why will I go to Gabon? What do I want to go do there? There's nothing happening there. No jazz concerts in there in Gabon. Even the guys that are trying to pull things together, you realize that economically they get thrown aback by their government.
So which means you can say that even the government themselves, they are not even helping which is African government.
Yes.
They're not even helping movement within ourselves because of their systems.
Well, I think that I don't know what is going on. I'm not a politician, and I don't know how politics work.
Yeah.
But I think that Europe and America, or the Western world, or the European powers, have kind of, they are holding African leaders
Ransom.
somehow, where we can't. Do you know that telephone, if I want to call, my father used to live in America.
Okay.
And he would tell me that it was easier for him to call which other country? Okay, when he was in America, it was easier for him to call me in South Africa than now when he's in Nigeria.
Wow.
Now for him to call me in South Africa is more expensive than from him calling me from America. America is farther.
Yeah.
From here to Nigeria is 6 hours flight.
True.
Here to America is 20-hour odd flight. But it's easier for him to call me from America.
From a 20 hours flight distance
to a 6-hour flight distance. So when you look at our telecommunications already, you will realize that the way they've wired it, it must first go
America,
Europe or whatever before it comes back to Africa. We don't have interconnectivity
within ourselves.
So everything has been done in such a way. Like I said, I'm not a politician, so
No,
I really don't know, the mechanism and whatever has been put in place for that. But realize that there's no easy trade from here. I hear that, people who do business who take goods from here to Nigeria. You have to probably first go to France or whatever before you now bring the goods back to Nigeria. It's 6 hour, so everything has been done in such a way that we are perpetual slaves, either we like it or not. We are slaves to the Western world in such a way that, I was in London at the time and I downloaded this FIFA, at the time I think it was FIFA 10 or something like that, in an hour. When I came back here, FIFA 10 took me almost 24 hours to download because our internet is crap. So many things are not just working. And I think that even though when you find a leader, a revolutionary leader who is willing to change things, they will somehow
kill the guy, like
them,
Gaddafi,
or somehow, like Gaddafi, he wanted United States of Africa, but they never allowed it.
That's how they frustrated him to the point that I was saying to somebody, I said, I think it was Thomas Sankara, Gaddafi, what's this other one again who they removed? I think he's dead now, so the one from Zimbabwe. Mugabe, remember that time when he was still in his A days? Yeah, not obviously later days where he becomes only God understand, but may his soul continue to rest in peace. Now, when I was saying to a couple of my friends who were talking about this, I said, see, these guys, as much as during that period, they understand the United States of Africa kind of idea because it makes life easy. Right. I have a friend of mine who likes telling me that, do you understand that in America, I've never been to America. For somebody watching me now, probably may help my destiny. I've never been to America, but I was told that America has, if I'm not mistaken, over 3 different time zones in America.
Oh yeah, definitely. I remember I went with my band. I was in California. One of my guy was in New York, and he would call me 8 o'clock his time, and it was 6 a.m. my time.
And you guys
in
are
California,
still
in America.
And yet we Africans, we still have the same different time zone, but yet we are not that. You've been to America, right. And please just help my kind who have not been there, and many of the viewers who have not been in America. From one state in America to another state. I know it sounds like a stupid question. Please pardon me. I choose not to. I don't want to claim as if I know. Yeah. From one state in America, let's say from California to Texas, or from Texas to whatever. Right. Do they get visas?
No. Of course not.
I'm just asking.
Of course not. Once you get into any part of America, you can travel within America everywhere you want to go. No visa is needed anymore. You don't need to. But remember that America is a country. Remember?
But Africa was one time a country. So how do we get to the place where these borders...
Now they made us believe that we are so far apart. But actually we can't. The continent can be a country.
African and it's small. I was told it's small compared to America.
America is big.
See the way I breathe?
America is really big.
Okay.
I don't know. I need to check Google to see
but it's okay.
the density or the mass or the distance.
In your 20 years been here,
right.
Obviously you came in for your music, right. And how has the reception been for you? I remember you said, if I choose to be corrected, that you then get signed with Universal Record. I think that's the name. But after that very particular moment, possibility that you end up, because I know you as Keku Production.
Right.
You're still there, right?
Right.
Yeah. He is a producer. And so in case if you want to produce your music and you want to do, he's a very good producer. I think I remember, I was cracking joke. I wanted to bring, remember my guitar you made me buy?
You paid for one lesson and you never came back.
Family, let me be honest. This man frustrated my career in entry music. I have to say so. I went for his, I paid for the lesson. So he made me, I bought one particular guitar. He said that guitar was not nice. So I went there, changed the guitar, paid extra money. I was excited. You don't understand, guys. I went to his class. And by the time he took the guitar, he helped me fine tune. I promise you up till now, the guitar is at the back here. They fine tune, you fine tune. That's the last time So he fine tuned the guitar. And after fine tuning the guitar, he now played. Like, play it again. So he played again. He's here, he will tell you, I just fold my books. I was just looking at him. I'm like, in my spirit, I know I'm not coming back again. And from that time to now, I didn't show up. And that's how good he is with his job. So in case if you're watching us at any place and you want to do a music in South Africa, Keku Production is a place to go. I know he didn't pay me for advert, but I just have to do it. He's a brother of mine that has been with me, only God know how many years. I can't even count it. I've been 14 years, so that's all I can say. Yeah. Now, back to my question. I just have to put that one as a caveat as to how good you are to the point you frustrated me out of learning guitar.
That's not fair.
I have to say it because that's the only way I can say it. He frustrated me. How do you play? Fair. You just carry all the 5 strings. You just do wing. 6 strings. Start with 1. Like do wing. Then I have hope. You just do wing. I said I know the life. Kept my book. The other day I was looking. I saw the book and so I took the book downstairs. The book is downstairs there. So I'm like, let me just leave this book. I'll keep it. Anytime somebody wanted to buy the guitar from my head, I said no. Leave the guitar. Okay. I always remember this guitar because one of my brother here frustrated my life in playing guitar. Now you were running Keku Productions, obviously. After you left Universal Record, how has been the experience in terms of reception from this place for you with your fellow Africans?
Okay, so luckily for me, when I came in 2002, even though I had my share of what is the word I'm looking for? People named me Kwere and all those things.
They named you?
Oh yeah. There was a show.
Oh, you're a musician. I thought the name shouldn't come.
No. They, it's just imbibed in people. People just say things that they've heard on the streets or they've heard their brother say or their father or their mother say. And my experience was great. I was kind of inducted into the industry. Of course, you still have 1 or 2 people who didn't like you. I had those kind of situations where people didn't really like me, but it's okay. You can't be liked by everybody. True. But the industry opened up to me with the great work from Team Music Man. I must give them credit. Okay. Team Music Man opened a lot of doors for me at the time. They did the Joy of Jazz festivals and they gave
Team
me
Music Man, are they
opportunities.
still available to
Yes, okay. They still do Joy of Jazz festivals, standard band Joy of Jazz and all that. Yeah. So they opened a lot of doors for me and but as one grows, you realize that, okay, I want to expand. And so when I left Universal, I went to Bula, which was an affiliate company of Team Music Man. Okay. So they promoted me for a few years. And then I started Keku Productions, which is my company. And then I started, getting my studio together and recording my own music. And, of course, over the years, the atmosphere has changed. I mean, in the days of cassette, now in the days of CD, the CDs are even gone again. Now it's digital.
I think it was the days of, what's it called? USB or something?
Flash. Well, I mean, they tried to use Flash even in the days of CDs, but the Flash thing wouldn't necessarily work because every music is online. I don't need to store music on my phone or store it on a Flash. I can just stream from Spotify or whatever, iTunes, whatever music I'm looking for, be it old catalog or new music, it's there. I just need to, pay 60 Rand or whatever to Spotify or whatever, whichever one you want to use. So you realize that it becomes kind of easier than for you to go buy a Flash and then you are limited by space. You can only play so much and then you need to put it somewhere before you can play. But on my phone, it's there.
It's there 24/7.
Once I just click, I'm playing. And so the dynamics has changed, and I realized that, okay, now that the dynamics have changed, how can we then be part of what's going on? So I've been, in a way changing and also kind of adjusting to what's going on. So I'm no longer just an artist for me being Kunle Ayo, but also as a company, Keiko Production, I have a few artists that I've also worked with that I'm still working with, and we keep bringing out music, and they help.
Do you sign artists?
I don't do signing, but I do once-off relationship. So for example, if you're an artist, we would say, okay, we're doing this project, one song. If it works, we do another one. So it's a once-off contract kind of thing. Because the days of signing artists are not really. I'm an artist myself. I don't have.
You don't want the experience with mobile and all of that.
Where artists is thinking that you're not doing enough for them, or they think that when you become big, you are taking a lot from them. They don't remember that you invested so much.
Yeah.
And it's only fair if I invest $1 million that I get 10 million.
Obviously.
Everybody wants to, make money. I'm not your brother. I'm not there to help you and then I will suffer. No, I'm there for business.
No, but I think even in the venture world where I belong as a venture capital in terms of business, one of the things that we also do is the fact that we look for market size, look for market opportunity, but we then make you understand. If we have to get a fund for you, we make you understand that by the time there will be the sales of your business, we're looking for times 100. I think you were fair, it's times 10. We as a venture capital, we make sure that it's times 100.
Thank you.
So anything that will guarantee our times 100, either we get a company to buy your company to give us the times 100, or probably we do a listing on as IPO or whatever, or probably you've been sucked by another company. It must definitely be a times 100. That's why people don't understand how venture capital work. And when I see that also with music, where the moment you begin to hear artists complain that no, this person is making more from me and stuff, and when I'm thinking the time at your early stage, even though it was R1 they gave you, did you quantify the R1 that time?
Exactly.
Till now.
So artists are usually too hungry to quantify anything. They don't understand the how business works. So they think that, oh, this company is signing me. So because they are hungry, they will just go in without looking at, okay, it's a 3-year deal, but underneath that, it's automatically renews itself every year until they've made so much money.
Of the money. Yeah.
You know what I mean? When I was signed with Universal, I mean, it used to be 15% for an artist. 15% they pay for the studio, they pay for everything. But now, because, okay, there's no more CDs or cassettes, there's no more warehouse storage and all those kind of things, because those are the reasons why they will pay so little for an artist, because they will tell you that they will make the CDs, store it, and so they charge for warehousing, they charge for storage, they charge for transportation. So all of that is not there. So what I do now, I do 30% with an artist, 30 or 40% to say, okay, I pay for the recording, I make the music in my studio, you come write your material,
Is that you doing 30 or 40, or it's the current industry standard?
There's no standard right now.
Okay.
It's up to you. I mean, some people still do 15%.
Wow.
Yes. Some companies will tell the artist, no, it's still 15%, take it or leave it. Because they would then tell you that they would market, they would take it to radio, I don't promise that. I tell you, we do it together.
Okay.
I have contacts in the radio, and I will get my people to do whatever they can. I
was told about this system. I think the previous guest before you was talking about a system in your music industry that it's called payola. Payola means that, for example, the compilers and the schedulers, if you don't sort them out, coming from a production point of view, they don't rotate your music.
So it's something that happens in every industry.
Okay.
Bribery is ripe. It is what happens everywhere. They call it payola because they feel that your music is good enough, it should be played. No, I really don't blame. I'm not supporting payola anything. However, if I'm able to say thank you for playing my music, and you keep on playing my music because there's so much music out there.
Obviously.
So we can't play everything. So there's nothing wrong in giving them and saying thank you for playing my music and end.
So you're not among those who believe that schedulers and compilers are crippling the industries?
No, they're not crippling nothing. The only problem is if the music is crap, if the music is not good enough, and you keep playing it, then it's a problem.
Okay.
But if the music is good, there's a million other good music out there.
True.
And we are all, scraping for presence and that is why YouTubes and all these places, TikToks and all that are now options. So you don't need to pay anybody anything if you don't want to be on that station. If you go to that station, you want to be there, then you should be able to thank the compiler or the. So I'm of a different school of thought. I mean, I get a
Definitely,
situation.
because the way you're saying that, I'm like, okay.
You know, I also get a situation where American artists will come to South Africa, and then South African artists will expect that they should be treated like an American artist. And I say to them, did you send in your agreement? In your agreement, did you put that you want a flower in your room? Did you say you want five black label or whatever it is that you drink? Did you specify
all of those things?
All of those things in your technical rider. If you don't put it, don't expect that somebody would just be nice to you and put it for you. No. So if you do things properly, they will treat you properly. Dress the way you want to be addressed.
True.
American artists, before you get them at all, they will send you their technical riders and so everything is written there.
It's written there.
So don't come and blame anybody who doesn't want. If I don't tell you that I'm giving you 30%, you expect that I'll just throw 40% at you.
Yeah.
No, you must negotiate. You must tell them what you want.
So the negotiating in the industry, in the music side, is it something that you producers put on the table, or you assume that the artist that you are bringing should know? Or
If the producer
yeah.
is nice, he would talk to you about it before. If he's not, he would assume you
So
know.
are you indirectly you're saying that there are those shoot producers that would
Bro, I've met them. They work in my studio. Sometimes I say to them, no, how can you give somebody 5%
wow.
of this song? No, they've done more than 5%. Give them more.
And they come to your studio. You've met
Bro,
them.
yes. Especially in the Amapiano house space. They are very mean.
Wow.
Very mean. So as an artist, once you go into any industry, learn that industry. What is your right? What am I supposed to get?
So which means it's a fight of like a business that you must be able to know before you come into music.
Even with pastors and musicians, same thing. Pastors and musicians, I always say to musicians, when you go to a church, let the pastor know what you want, what you can do. Be plain about
You are
it.
touching things that are sensitive now, ne?
Yeah, it's the same. It's the same story. We fight about these things all the time. I work in a church. I'm a musician. I'm a pastor, and I don't run a church as a pastor. But I'm ordained as a pastor. I know the fight that my pastor would have with my musicians, and I'm saying to the guys, it's both ways. Pastor expects you to be here all the time. Can he afford it? No. So pastor must be able to say, okay, you can go and do with this, but this is when I need you. Please be there.
So it's a serious bone of contention between pastors and the musicians. All right, family, we'll be right back after this very particular short break, because one of the questions that he hasn't answered yet, it's the fact that his relationship with his fellow Africans in South Africa. And after the short break, definitely we'll come back and talk about that, and also touch the concept of pastors. This very particular platform is a platform where we talk about everything, but from an African point of view, and just to make sure that our values still stays. So don't go anywhere. We'll be right back just now, and we'll continue this very particular show. Still having my guest, my elder brother, my Egbon, as we call him. I call him my chairman, Kunle Ayo, who is the founder and CEO of Keiko Production. I think that's what I will say for now. If you want to get him to sign you, pass through me, because I need to collect Payola. All right, we'll be right back just now. Welcome back again to the second segment of this very particular show. Before we left, I was talking to my Egbon, and we were talking about the whole concept of his experience in South Africa. And one of the questions that he did not answer, that I want him to answer now, is the fact that 20 years thus far, how has the people received you? Have there been any place where you are like, damn it, I feel like just going back home?
Well, there were moments. I mean, of course, in a 20-year period, you would have moments where you will feel like I'm not loved enough, or things are not working out enough. But I know why I came, and it's been that thing of just being tenacious and just being focused to say, okay, I know where I'm going, and there's no turning back. If I go home to retire or whatever it is, I would know when and I would know why. Right now is not that time. So I mean, over the last 20 years, I've been accepted. I must say, I've been accepted.
I think if I'm not mistaken, sorry to pause you, are the first African to receive an award in South Africa. If I'm not, I think it was. Is it Kura Award or something like that?
I got the Kura Award. I got Metro FM Award. I've got a Channel O Award. I've been privileged to kind of been, accorded certain accolades, as it were. You know what I mean? Of course, jazz has got its place. I got Afrima, which is also. But you realize that all of those awards, they really don't have a category for jazz per se. But some of them they've created a bit of space for jazz, and
So you are strong more with jazz.
I'm more inclined towards jazz related music,
Okay.
so instrumental music and all that. But I mean, over the years we realized that we then need to kind of adjust, like I spoke about, digital music now. The people that listen to jazz are not really in that space. They want records, or they want CDs, or whatever form they can carry and proudly say, oh, I know whoever the artist is, and he signed this he signed this
So
CD
jazz,
for me.
the jazz fans they're still on the old school mindset.
Yes, very
At this
very,
time.
very 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 much so. So, but the music kind of is changing, and you get newer guys who are coming in, and they're building a following, jazz related kind of music.
Okay.
Some are bebop, which is traditional jazz, and some are smooth jazz, like your Kenny G type of vibes, and people are kind of warming up to it. But every genre of music uses instrument, so we are then able to incorporate styles of stuff into all styles. So what I'm saying is, we'll put guitar in and amapiano and make it sound kind of like jazz, but it's amapiano. So it's more fusion. So Afro fusion is what it is right now, and we're just trying to
when you came into the country,
Yeah.
and you were Universal. From there, I don't know how you moved. Obviously, I'm going to stay with Keku. What is the culture shock you experienced with working with your Africans here in South Africa?
I never really. The only thing is, relationally, when you deal with people, South Africans are different, definitely.
Exactly. So I need that shock.
So it was more, work ethics. How people would then, I came from Nigeria.
Yeah.
In that time, we would work with one another, and we'll come and support one another. Here it was different. You're on your own. You are doing your thing. You got a few friends. They can easily turn their backs on you because we'll call it loyal. They are not loyal in a way. So that was culture shock for me. It wasn't a bad thing in itself, but I was used to, I remember when I was recording my first record, people would come out and support me. They'll play instrument for me for free, because I would also do the same thing for them.
Yeah.
But when I came here, I realized that no, you pay for everything.
Wow.
Yes, you pay for everything. Somebody comes to play on your record, you pay them. Even though you tell them, no, but I'll play on your record too. Pay me. And
has that helped you redefine how you work with Keku Production now that you're a producer running it?
Oh yeah. I mean, over the years, I formed some allegiance, some relationships with guys who sometimes they'll play for me for free, knowing that they can use my studio, they can use my rehearsal space, they can use my events place, because I have a restaurant and we do events there. They can come use it anytime, and so we've kind of redefined how we work. However, people that were still about pay me, I pay them.
Okay.
And then when you call me to come do stuff, then I bill you because the name has kind of spoken for itself. So if you want me to do anything for you, then you pay me what the industry standard is for A-listers, as it were. Yeah.
I'm happy for the fact that you call yourself an A-lister, because most people just feel like, nah, I just want to stay humble. And I'm like, no, it's called a celebrity show. So don't tell me that, no, I just want to be humble. One of the guests was interviewing, I think about 2 weeks ago. Yeah. It's like, no, you don't understand. I just want to stay cool. I say you are a celeb. And I say celeb, what does that mean? So you're a celebrity. Don't go there. Now, we were talking off air, and I want people to be able to get this. Please hear, he's a pastor. I'm a pastor. And so we also run our individual businesses. But he says something off air that I want to take permission from him to talk about in terms of relationship between pastors and artists.
Yeah.
The reason why for me I needed us to talk about that, because we've seen currently in the church that there is just this, I don't know if I should say enmity between pastors and artists.
Yeah, musicians. Yeah.
I mean, musicians, sorry, pastors and musicians, where pastors don't understand musicians don't understand pastors. And we're just like, okay, dude, the first time I experienced the pain of an artist, a musician and stuff, was when we started Platform Church.
Yeah.
I'm like, what the hell? Because before we started, I used to serve. So I really don't know what my pastors then were going through. And I'm like, no, the artist, the keyboardist is not coming today. I'm like, why? Not until when I started, I'm like, okay, damn it. Do you believe that a pastor, because I know you answered me off air, but I want you to talk about it now, that a pastor must have a contract with his artist? And there's something you also said when I told you about my story, that, and you said, to cut a long story short, because I'll need you to actually join everything, that it is important for me as a pastor to let the artist find their artist. But before we get that part, go to that part. Do you believe that a pastor must have a contract, and why?
Well, what is a contract? It's a definition of relationship. It defines the yardstick, as it were, to say, okay, this is what I will do from this time to that time. And in a contract, it is well stipulated. So and do you know that verbal contract is used in court? If you agreed, we shook on it, I can take you to court.
I can deny to say I forget.
No, you can't. No, you can't.
You didn't record me.
No, you can't.
No, but there's no record. There's no.
If we do a relationship, how did we know each other? Did we speak about it? You can't say you didn't.
We did, but in terms of the salary, would you agree?
There's no way. So for example, if you work for me for a year as a musician, I'm the pastor. You are saying that after the ninth month is when you know that, oh, it's not so much amount. You did it for a while. It shows that you agreed to do it. So if you now change, what made you change?
Because you refuse to increase my salary, and
I can't increase it because
that point is not documented. At 9 months.
So I'm saying it's good for you as a pastor to give him a contract or her a contract.
Okay,
it's okay. There's nothing wrong.
Okay,
but I'm saying that if you don't want to do a contract, you still can shake on a verbal agreement. My services are Wednesdays and Sundays. You will come for so many times in the week, plus rehearsal, whatever. This is how much. Do you say yes?
Which one will you go for, verbal or? Because now
it depends. It depends on.
It
depends on the what do you call it? The musician. Yes.
Okay.
On the individual. If I know that you are not a reliable person, because I can tell as a man, how you do some things, how you do everything. If, for example, I say to you, come and meet me at 2, you come at 4.
You already know.
I know that you're not reliable.
Okay.
So I would definitely do a contract with you, because tomorrow you will say we didn't agree.
On time.
Because I see the way you do. So if I see that you're a prompt person, you are this, you're that, you're together, I might not necessarily do a contract.
I might do a contract with me when I was coming to learn guitar.
I might do an MOU, however, just to say, 1, we agree this, 2, we agree that, we both sign, just in case.
Okay.
But I would, because when you say contract, it's deeper for me. It's hectic.
So you
MOU, yes, MOU is easier. Just this 1-pager, 5 lines to say, I start my service at this time, you have to be there. This is how much we agree to pay. Simple. We go. Because contract then stipulates even more and more and more. It's deeper than just an MOU.
If an artist who, I don't know what
musician.
I think because I have a lot of artists and who have been on here, so every time I hear this artist, if a musician who wake up in the morning and decided to just abscond, or probably something come up and they did not tell the pastor, what should be the pastor response before that very particular event happened? Because I have a lot of pastors who were complaining that, I promise you we complain. I know a lot. As I'm saying, I feel like mentioning them. Where this instrumentalist, I don't know, pardon me, this instrumentalist will just wake up in the morning and just disappear. Now the pressure is on us, the pastors, now to begin to look, and our service is by 10, and now by 8 o'clock this guy just sent a message, hey pastor, something come up and playing in Polokwane.
So this is one of the things I wanted to say about my culture shock with Southern African artists or Southern African instrumentalists. Now when I first came, one of the first rehearsals that I did, I had booked musicians. We were having a show on the weekend. We were supposed to rehearse on a Wednesday or so, and then these guys never showed up.
Wow.
Yeah, it was a call. It never happens in Nigeria. They might be late.
No, they might be late. Yeah.
But they will be there, and they will tell you, Oga, I know if he come. Something came up, or they might double book themselves where they'll spend less time with you and quickly go to another one and but in Nigeria they would come. They will never abscond and switch off their phone. Never. It will never happen.
So you're saying this side they switch off phones sometimes?
In South Africa they switch on phones a lot. Where musicians will tell you no problem. On the morning they will then call you, hey pastor, my mother is sick, is a lie. Or they'll come up with a story.
Seeing them playing somewhere and they're posting on Facebook.
So that is a culture here. People do it, it's known. So in a situation like that, you might then want to have a contract to say, okay, anytime you have other commitments, find a replacement.
So they should find a replacement.
They should find a
It shouldn't be
replacement.
a responsibility of the pastor.
Yes, it shouldn't be. Because if you decide to give, for example, maybe give them 4,000 a month, and maybe let's say it pans out to be maybe 2 times a week, which is 500 per service. If you then decide to give the 500 to somebody else, they might tell you, no, I know somebody who can do it for me for 200. Me, I will pay them the 200.
Okay.
Let it be their responsibility, and they will pay the person whatever they want to pay the person.
Okay, so that's the best way to deal with.
That is how I would deal with it.
Okay, I think because many of us, including myself, it's that last minute thing, and we end up finding ourselves in the morning, instead of being spiritual, now we are physical, trying to trying to negotiate with artists and all of that. But I think I'm happy that we've cleared that very particular part. Now, the next question that I want to bring into, it's our leadership in this very particular continent where we are.
Yeah.
And like I said to you off air before we start the show, the ability for us to begin to talk about what is currently happening and be honest about it. Thus far, do you think, because I know I asked this question, do you think that Africans, or probably this continent or the nation, we will get to the point where we will become one AfriOne? Because the show is actually AfriOne, one AfriOne, where the visas and all of these boundaries that has been set will ever fall down?
Well, it can only happen when there's a revolution, and it will never happen if people are still
So you
kissing
believe in a
asses.
revolution?
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, it happened in Ghana where Rollins killed all the leaders that were just siphoning their phone. That's the
I'm
only way.
looking at you, look as if you're a man. You're like Moses, tit for tat.
It's that is the only way it will happen. I mean, look at Nigeria right now.
Yeah.
We keep changing the old
Recycling.
politicians, recycling them. Nothing will happen until those guys die and they go off out of the system. Then young guys with vision will come. I'm not necessarily supporting a coup, but you realize that when there is a coup, we're able to restart again. But don't let us recycle. Also mentally, don't let us recycle leaders who think that it's about my pocket. No, if a leader, actually, I was reading Luke this morning, and Jesus was saying to the disciples, they were arguing who's the leader, who is on top amongst,
Yeah.
and Jesus was saying to them, no, it's not about that. A leader is a servant. He actually took out his clothes and he washed their feet and showing them that a leader is a servant.
So you believe that currently within our continent and the nations in Africa, we lack leaders who are servants?
We don't have. We don't have. They're all there for themselves. They don't care about the people. Only very few. And even the very few, you realize that they're surrounded by sycophants who are there to just take. And this continent is great.
But you will hear people who say, especially when it comes to African leaders, I want to go now into the age issues.
Right.
Currently now, I think if I'm not mistaken, the president of America, Joe Biden,
Yes.
if I'm not mistaken, he's in his 70s or something
Late
like that.
70s, yeah.
Yeah, I think 78 or so, if I'm not mistaken. But you see in Africa, they'll tell you that the moment you are 65, that you are not supposed to be a leader. Most youths, like our kind, of complain that the people who are leading us are old people. But in America currently now, we find old leaders. Okay, old leader, because he's the only one I know now. I can't even remember the age of Donald Trump. I think that was the person that was there before.
He was in his 60s.
It was in his 60s.
Yeah, I'm sure he's still in his 60s.
Yeah, but let's look at the current one in America. A 70 years plus leader. Do you think that the old leader in Africa can be creative and mind and industrious?
I don't think age is our problem. Our problem is mindset. Age is not really an issue.
So you don't have a problem for you to see a 70, 80 years old person?
It is the mindset. A 78-year-old man who has been, he was governor, then he became senator. I mean, and he's still earning salaries from all these different places he has served, and they're still, siphoning funds from Africa. They're not there for us as a people.
That is
not
talking
the
about
age.
the Western.
If a 40-year-old guy comes into Nigeria, for example, and becomes a leader, and he doesn't change the nonsense policies that were there, then he's as good as
The old ones.
It doesn't make any difference. The age is not my problem. The reason why perhaps we would then look at the issue of age is, you can't teach an old dog a new tricks, or what they say. They are set in their ways. The newer generation guys are probably more open to ideas. What can we do? How can we innovate? You want to do anything in Nigeria, for example. I know a lot of guys who have been into Nigeria. I know Nigeria, that's why I'm saying Nigeria.
No,
I don't
it's
know
okay.
another country. Where they would come and say, let's use solar street lights and end. And they will make sure it doesn't happen, because the person that is bringing the innovation is saying to the government, give me so much. Somebody puts times 3 of that money into that contract and he says, no, I can't do it. It's too much. So they want the payola. You're saying payola. I was telling you about payola. That it's not just in music that we have this thing going on. It's bribery. It's everywhere. Our leaders are so corrupt. It's easy, simple things.
So which means our leaders, they're suffering from innovations on how to move with the trend.
They are not moving with the trend because they know that their nonsense will come out. Once they leave that pattern, they will not be able to chow the money like they used to. So they are afraid that, hey, if we bring this innovation, hey, people will now see what we've been doing all along. That is my take. I'm not a politician, so I really don't know how it works. But
let's say we wake up one morning and we find Mr. Kunle Ayo as the president of South Africa.
Right.
Because you are here for the past 20 years. You're a shareholder. I know he doesn't want to agree, but he's a shareholder. You are in South Africa, 20 years thus far, and we wake up one morning, we find that you are the president. In your experience thus far, what would be 1, 2, 3 things that you want to change?
The problem with...
And you can actually streamline it even down to your sector.
The problem with Africa, first of all, is that we are puppets being played by
the power that be at the top.
So until that goes away, there's nothing an individual can do.
So you're saying that even when you find yourself as a president...
Even when I find myself as a president, I can't do much until policies are changed, things on top are changed. We cut off all of these things that is holding us.
Yeah, but you are the president. You're supposed to be able to...
You can't. I promise you that an individual cannot.
Remember, as a president, you have your team that is with you.
Right.
You've brought your ministers, you've brought your councillors,
yes.
You've brought your premiers and stuff.
Yes.
So what's stopping you?
So now, if I become president and I bring in my team, I would only be able to do so much. But for me, my goal is beyond just South Africa or beyond just a country. Because if this country becomes great, it is a one-eyed man in the land of
many corrupt countries.
Do you understand?
Attached to it, yeah.
So you've now realized that everybody wants to come into that space. So we can't really do much. But in a situation where we are able to, first of all, cut off this thing that is holding us, all the Rockefellers or whatever they call them, all these people that are holding us. Because I'm happy to see an Africa that can take away the borders. Even if Ramaphosa wants to do that right now, it's not possible. He can't do it alone.
So you believe in borders falling down?
Of course.
And how do you think that will affect your business?
I've always said,
when you see a Nigerian man tongue, it's about to get, okay, I'm listening.
I've always said that people will, as a musician, people will start enjoying music more and start investing more into music when other things are okay. When there's food, there's clothing, there's housing, there's health, and once those things are there, then music becomes a joyful thing that we want to dance. As Africans, we love dancing and singing anyway, but not by the river of Babylon, where we are in
by the river.
Music is not as nice when we are at that space where we are not liberated. So the liberation needs to be there first before we can really enjoy. So I can't even look at my industry right now. As in I can't even look at, say, I want to revolutionize my music industry. No, that is the least of my worries. Because once people are okay, they will look for music anyway. It becomes easy. Somebody's playing, music there. You want to dance because you are happy. Everything is cool. So our problem is so, grassrooted that we need to first find a way to be united as a continent. If they take away the borders and we're able to do trade within ourselves, I've always said that if Africans are able to trade amongst ourselves, close off everything else, I only give us 10 years. Every African country will be wealthy. Without the greedy
Without the greedy
leaders.
and the power that beats.
Yes, without the greedy leaders and the people. Just say, okay, close Africa in. Close us in. All African countries will close us in. We don't do business with everybody else, just within ourselves. You make rice. I sell tomato.
Yeah.
Let's do a business within ourselves. 10 years is too much. The wealth that would happen in this continent. I mean, look at what is happening in Congo and all these places. They're taking everything to France. Even here, gold, taking them away. Close it. Let us do business within each other. Just the African countries. Everything is here.
But I think one of the fear that I've heard a lot of people say is the fact that if we close the borders, which is the continental border, obviously not the national border, and we do business within ourselves, that the countries where there seems to have good policies and system, and obviously, let's say, for example, good currency power,
right?
There will be a lot of migration into that.
There shouldn't be. Hence, we're saying that if the less privileged or the poor African countries, if we buy from them and we give them that money, the problem is not that they don't have. It's not like they don't have. It's like people will take and give them peanuts. So if the market value is 10 rands, don't give them one cent.
Okay.
If you give them that 10 rand, they will be able to build their own countries. People don't need to move anywhere. I don't need to come to South Africa.
If Nigeria is okay.
What am I doing here? I can come and visit and I don't need to move. Why are we all moving? Because where I am, there's so many people and we're all struggling for one thing. Let me quickly, spread my wings so that maybe if I'm able to do better, I can bring other people. I mean, Pakistanis and Indians, you find them in London, in America, and all these places in Australia, packing themselves in droves. Why? Because even Chinese.
Yeah, even Chinese. Yeah.
Even Chinese. Why? They get there, they buy one house. From one house, they buy the street. From the street, they buy. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Then next minute, is Chinatown.
Chinatown. What are we doing for ourselves as Africans?
And there's no Nigerian town. There's no Congolese town. It's just Chinatown, Pakistan town, and all of that. All right, family. I think the reason why, for me, I'm so excited about this is because many of the people, I remember I was speaking to one of the celebrities in Nigeria. I don't want to mention your name because you begged me not to mention your name. He's an influencer. And he's making me to understand when we're talking. He said, Darlington, I have seen a lot of your foreigners in South Africa and also the people there. For strange reason, it looks as if your country. And funny enough, when they talk, they actually say your in-laws, because I'm married to South Africa. So your in-laws and its people. Now, when I hear that, I laugh. They believe that we are not pro-African, one AfriOne.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm happy about the things you were saying now, where in terms of, can we just close the borders of the continent and let's trade within ourselves? And I like the fact that the value where you put, if the thing is actually 10 rand, don't pay 1 cent. Because with the 10 rand, it can actually make life easy for that very particular country that looks, in quotes, poor. Family, I think we want to take a break now. Then we'll come back on the last segment. And the last segment, there will be me trying to dig into my guest personal things he's having on ground, and also maybe on end. I think one of the things I'm planning for next year, I'm going to say to him, and I'm using this one now for me to rope him into it. English is not my first language. My first language is Ibira. So let me help you. And as I'm saying now, people will be like, what? I thought you were Igbo. A lot of people thought I was Igbo.
Really?
Some says I'm Yoruba. I'm like, it's okay. I'm Ibira guy. I'm from Kogi State. Let's close it there now. Pa. Don't ask me what's my father's name and my mother's name. You will not find out. I'm protecting them. But one of the things I'm planning to look forward for is next year, and I'm going to see how we can work that out together. I need us to do an AfriOne show where we have all Africans in one space. If you do it before me, I'm fine. I don't have a problem. Like, as long as it's all towards the African agenda. I tell people, I said, what's the name of this guy? Martin Luther King had a dream. Barack Obama was the reality. I say, I have no problem having a dream and somebody become a reality. But if you're watching us currently and you believe in the One African talk we've been saying, and obviously we've been hearing from my elder brother here, Kunle Ayo, and how he's talking about us coming together and forming a synergy where we do things within ourselves, I think that will help. So if you are interested, I'm going to put my brother on the chopping block when we come back, because he has to be part of the project, and we'll see how we'll make that happen. But don't go anywhere. We'll be right back just now as we come on the final segment, just to make sure that we get to understand what K. Cool is up to, how you can join his record label. We'll beg him to sign me. I still believe that I can sing. My wife is saying that to me. Say, please stop that dream. Stop that dream.
Yeah.
You paid money to play guitar. Nothing happened. You didn't even. I think funny enough, I didn't even call you back.
You didn't call
I
me.
just
One
That's
class
bad.
and that was
I
it.
just moved. Whee! And I'm like, no, because if I call him, he will convince me to go. I was like, nah, I'm not doing that. But I appreciate you, family. You can make your comment. You can subscribe to this. Tell people that, yes, this is AfriOne show. It's all about us as African coming together for us to unite, for us to innovate, and also for us to elevate one another. I've not even asked him. Maybe I'll do that when we come back. Who are the people that you actually want to innovate with in your music industry? And also, how do you think that we can unite properly, even in our diversity? Keep that very particular thought. We'll be right back just now as we go on the show. Host? No, it's not. Am I the host or you are the host? Because I'm trying to.
You are the hoster, I'm the host.
I'm trying to understand who's the host, who's the hoster. I think somebody was asking me the other day. It's like, I need to sometimes you get confused who's the host or who is the guest. I'm like, leave me alone. Like, there's a lot of things I'm thinking. But before we went on the break, one of the things we're talking about is the project you are currently running. But also for me, I wanted to understand your African values that you want to see happen. What is that as an African?
All right, as an African, if I may answer that one first, I think respect for one another. I think we're losing it. That is one thing that we had.
We're
as
losing
Africans. Yeah, definitely. Oh,
Okay.
yeah, definitely. We're losing respect for elders. We're losing respect for one another. Just mutual, appreciation of people's positions, and just we're always just looking to, like you were talking about off air, you were talking about sometimes people pulling you down, and so if I value you as a person and I appreciate what you're doing, I will be happy to celebrate you. So we have this dark side, unfortunately for us, where when I see you I feel like, why is he rising? Why is he doing well? What can I do to pull you down? So if we can,
Have you experienced that as a person?
oh yeah, of course. What? What? Big time. I mean, when I first got here, I was one of the very few non-South Africans that was doing almost all the circuits, and it was an issue. A lot of people didn't like that. People would then, insinuate things that were not there, and we do that to one another.
But
as
you,
black
I'm
people.
laughing. You're nice. Maybe it's just me. You're very nice. For somebody to want to pull you down, I'm like, okay. So even the nice ones experience.
Everybody experiences it sometime. You get people around you, they will smile, but in their heart they're not happy, and they will tell other people who then come back. Sometimes they will tell you, and sometimes they'll check in what you're doing, and they want to do the same thing, and there's no innovation, there's no creativity, especially in the same industry where you have friends, so-called people that you call friends, who want to do exactly what you're doing. I mean, Jimmy, for example, is my friend, Jimmy Dludlu, and we're trying to do a collaborative project. You don't find those kind of things in South Africa, where people almost in similar genres coming together and doing a collaboration
stuff,
of something bigger than both of us, as it were. So I respect him, I love him, and we're trying to do that. It's not easy because people are busy, but it's doable. So what I want to see, with Africa is let's bring back the respect for one another, respect for elders, and
respect also for our craft.
Yeah, respect for our craft, because it then speaks to you spending time and doing more. And also, in my industry, for example, people are always very late. I hate that. People say that, musicians are always very late. They are not coordinated. I hate that. I don't want to see that. I am hoping that we are able to change that, what is the word I'm looking for? Narratives. Yeah.
Now, before we went on break, I remember one of the questions I was asking is the fact that I needed to help me understand how do we unite. Because one of the motto of AfriOne is the fact that we're trying to see how to unite. And obviously unity, we understand that we have our diversity, but in that diversity, how do we come together to unite? Obviously in your industry, or probably just been as a person in South Africa, let's even leave industry, as a person, because sometimes we hide behind the job we do, but forget to understand that we are humans. And if our humanity can be on the table, I think our conversations will even be more human than us presenting the job that we do. So now, how do we unite? How do we innovate? And how do we come together to elevate one another?
The only way to do it is in the Nike way.
Which one is that?
Just do it.
I have to
The only way to do anything is to just do it. We just do it. Let's start it. Whatever it is we want to do, let's start it. I am an action person. I like things to be. I don't like to do many meetings.
I'm like that also.
Plan. I hate planning. And what are we doing? What role do you want me to play? I run with it. I'm like that. So I think that, excuse me, it's not so much about we talking too much. It's just a matter of saying, okay, what are we trying to achieve? A unified Africa. Let's start it. I mean, I remember the first xenophobic attack in South Africa. I called everybody together, but he was still around. Hugh Masekela, Judith Sipuma, and all the great musicians that we all know, you know. And we did a song to say, you know, no, let's stop this thing. Yeah. But when it happened the second time, they called me. I didn't want to do it because I realized that, no, we're not. We're just singing. We're not really genuinely
the people doing
yes. You
so
know,
indirectly it looks as if we're talking.
We're just talking, but there's no action. Yes. You know, so I stopped being part of anything they would say is xenophobic. You know, it's not a political rally. Guys, let us act. If you say you love me, show me.
True. If you love me, show me.
You know what I mean? If you say we are together, then show me. Don't say it with your mouth and meanwhile your heart is. If I'm angry with you, that's one thing I like about myself. I don't know. But if I'm angry with you, I can't sit with you. I will tell you. It must be out of my heart. I must be okay before I'm able to sit with you.
I think I used to be a people's pleaser, and I'm being honest. I used to be a people's pleaser where I would bury my emotions just because I want to please you. All of a sudden, I think I'll give thanks to my wife, who helped me understand that is why you were buying friends in your days when you had your money, because, like you've just said, I don't know how to express my feelings to tell you that, dude, you effed up, and I'm annoyed. And so for you to say that, literally, it's a good one. It's a good one. And the honesty about us just trying as much as possible to be real with one another. If you know you don't want to work with a foreigner, say it from the beginning, so that we don't have. I was saying to you off air about a particular politician who reached out to me and wanting us to do something. I said to the politician, I don't want to mention name because obviously it's a sensitive issues. And I said to the politician, I said, see, forget this very particular thing, not gonna happen. Forget it. And I did that simply because I know I'll use the word maybe because I'm matured. You know, they said by the time you get married, you add more sense. Maybe the marriage, I like cracking jokes with my wife. I said maybe the marriage add more sense to me because now I know that there's no feelings anywhere. There's no free thing in Freetown. There's a saying I like saying, I say even salvation is not free because it costs God his son.
True.
So based on that. Now, the thing there is talking about innovation in Africa. What advice, and I need you to look at the camera, concerning the young generations or even your peers in the industry, how do you want to advise them for them to become innovative and also how to take their craft serious? Because everybody now is trying to do shortcuts. And we can see that shortcuts really cutting people's lives short. But for you to be in it for 20 years and I was able to find you, then clearly there must be something you are doing that people need to learn from you. What would that be?
Well, I think basically whatever it is that you find yourself doing, my father would always say that what is worth doing at all is worth doing well.
True.
Make sure you're passionate about it. The reason why I'm still here doing what I love to do is because I am very passionate. If you've seen my shows, if you've been to my events, check me out. When I play guitar, I play with my life. It's like that's the last time. I'm dying after that. You know, I play with everything. So whatever it is that you want to do and you really want it to make sense, do it with your heart. Let your heart be there. Don't do it for the money. Don't do it for the fame. Because even when those things come, you realize that either it's not enough or it's too much and it will mess you up. So innovation in Africa right now starts with passion. What is it that you're passionate about? How can you do better what it is that you've been doing? And for me, I work with the market. So I work with audience. I'm checking out what are they listening to, and I'm trying to see how can I be in that space. You like Amapiano? Let me give you a version of my Amapiano. Maybe you would like it. I don't always take that because it's done by me, you must like it. No, I assume that maybe you will like it. I'll try it out, and a lot of times it usually works like that because I first feel it. I feel like, wow, this is nice. Then we try it out in the market, and we get, sizable people who then kind of like that sound. So whatever it is that we do, let us try and find ways to make it better, find ways to improve on it and keep doing it and make sure that, we're finding new ideas to doing the same things, but new ideas, doing it, probably easier, or, try the long way, try the short way, whatever works, but just don't stop. Just keep doing it and keep finding new things. But I realized that in the last couple of months, since we've been doing some, fellowship stuff, and I realized that a man that doesn't have a dream, you would never wake up with a zeal in your heart or a humph, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
If you don't have a dream, if you don't have a goal, nothing motivates you.
I'm tempted to ask you, what's your dream?
Right now,
I know that your dream may be diversified into different portfolio of your
definitely.
life. Obviously, because I know you're a pastor,
Right.
you're a musician,
Right.
you're a record label artist, what's called your record label owner, not an artist.
executive, yeah.
Executive.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of aspect of you, but
Right.
what is that dream that you want to, your dream currently, and the one that you know that when you wake up every morning and you just look at it and you just smile?
Okay, personally, I feel that there's that song that I've not sung yet. I feel that there's that music I've not made yet.
After 20 years.
Yes. I feel like after
Give us chance now.
seven records and a couple of DVDs, a couple of singles, but I feel that there's still that music I need to write. There's still that song I need to sing. There's still that thing I need to play on, so it keeps me awake. And I also, I feel like there's that idea I can share with somebody that would help them. I love people. I enjoy being around people.
That I know.
So I believe that there's still that thing I can say to somebody that would help them, elevate and all of that. So I'm always just driven by, there's still that thing I need to do. There's still that thing that God has put in my heart that I can still do to make somebody better, or to, take me to that next level.
I think as you're talking, I'm trying to just look for your trouble. and I'm being honest saying that I'm looking for your trouble. Do you think as African pastors we're united? That's what I said.
No,
because he's now in it. I'm one, so but I need you. You guys have heard my own separate time number. But
No, I don't think pastors are united the way that they should, the way that Christ wants us to unite. And I think it's a black thing. Honestly speaking, I don't know about the white community. I don't know about the Indian community or the Asian community.
I'm tempted to say share a story about
I don't know about all other communities, but I think that black factor comes into play, where you see somebody going up, and instead of celebrating them and embracing what God is doing with them, we always feel like, why is it you? Why is it not me? Kind of thing. It's a black thing. Doesn't matter what profession you are in or what your calling
That's
is.
why I want to look for his trouble.
and it's something we need to ask God to help us with. It is a black thing. We need to work on it, and we need to pray about it. And God, Lord, help me.
I think I'm saying this because I remember when I was called full time into ministry. Obviously, after finishing serving my spiritual mother and coming to ministry, and I remember I met a particular pastor. It's a white pastor, and this pastor was looking at me. So I was looking for venue, so I now went to his place. I never knew that he was a pastor, so I went to his place, and the guy was like, "Okay, you're a pastor?" So yes. So okay, that's interesting. I'm also a pastor. So yes. Now this is a question he asked that was very interesting. How do you want to bankrupt this very particular thing that you are doing? I'm like, what do you mean? Because remember, for us as African, and I like the fact that you talk about African, we believe that God will do it. Now you know where I'm going.
Yeah.
God will do it. So he now says to me that, then he now took me to his church. He showed me everything. He said, yes, I also serve like you and all of that. But by the time it was time for me to start this, my white fellow comrade, I think I have to use the word like that. This is what they bought. This is what they bought. This is the people they've released with me, and this is where we. And the guy is doing really well in Rodoport. I'll be very honest. I don't want to mention his name because he didn't pay me for advert. I used to tell him, I'm like, see, you want me to talk about your name on my shows? I will not until you pay me. So he likes laughing. So the reason why I ask you the question is the fact that I've seen that within our black community, where the moment I almost wanted to say Apostle Kunle. Maybe that's where you're going to. No, I can't tell. No, but you're an apostle in the marketplace, so that's fine. The moment Apostle Kunle wake up one morning and say he wants to start his own church, the next minute is the fact that instead of Darlington coming to say, okay, fine, how can we help you to make sure that in that industry where you are or that niche of the market, for example, as a pastor, my mandate is the mandate of rest. God called me for me to preach the message of rest to the people, and that's all I do. Now, what would make the rest become a reality would be what I need to ask you so that you then be able to do that. But you find out that within us as pastors, the moment you come and we're like, so who call you, who mentor you, who be your spiritual father?
True.
As I'm saying all of this, I'm laughing, but it's okay. It's a story for that day. Today is not the day.
Yeah.
What would be that thing that you would want to do next as a project? And obviously, I was talking to you about a project we want to do. And guys, this is me want to put him on a chopping block. I don't know, when I meet artists, record label owner, I just feel entitled that I owe somebody an album. I don't know why. And so I'm going to say this to him on air because I know I didn't agree with him off air. But it's my Egbon. He will beat me after the show. So it's okay, no problem. I want us to come together whereby we can look for upcoming artists. Money is not, by God's grace, money won't be the problem. I'm not saying I'm a billionaire before somebody now come and start disturbing my life. Money won't be the problem, but can we agree here on air that we can look for 5 different Africans, probably in South Africa, or if they have the money to come into South Africa for us to produce something for them, and I want you to feature in it. Is that a deal?
Oh yeah, that's possible. I've always done that. I was in Zimbabwe last year. In October, we had festival. I think they're doing it again if they have not done it already. Jacaranda Festival, owned by a friend, Walter.
Okay.
And I met a lady that I'd worked with longest of times, and I said to her, "Man, it's been a while. Let's do a song." And we did it. Woman King is on Spotify. Check it out.
Okay.
Woman King. We did that song, and it kind of, because it speaks about woman empowerment, and it's a song that when you listen to it, you'll enjoy it. It's a vibey Niger vibe, but Zimbabwean singer, and so I'm always for looking for talent. Yes, looking for talent.
You don't have a specific country you want to work with.
No, anybody.
Because you have people like, no, I don't want to work with Nigeria. I don't want to work with Congolese.
I work with everybody. It's about the talent.
Okay.
The only person I cannot work with is somebody without a talent.
Okay. So as long as the person has, listening to me, family, what will you, because I'm not, like I said to you, I don't know how to cook food, but I know food, how sweet it is. Promise you. Don't ask me how. I think it's a grace God gave me. What will you need from the person? Because they are watching currently now, so that by the time they need to know the criteria, obviously they're going to send it. I'm going to put the email address.
If you think you have a voice, somebody
was saying to me the last
demo.
time there's a 16 guitar or 16 gig. There's something called 16 something that you guys are looking for. I don't know what that thing is.
What is that? 16-beat what?
I think it's something like a 16. Is it 16 octave or 16? Can't blame me. You people just one record label will come and tell you 16. The other day I was editing something and I look at the thing. He was asking me, "Do you want us to make it a 3 beats?" I'm like, "What the hell is this beat again?" Like, enter, just press it.
It's the resolution, I guess. It's the resolution. The 16 beat or 24 beat or 32 beat is the resolution of the sound, the quality of the sound.
Okay. Yeah. I'm not a sound person. So I just press enter that there, like whatever. If you want to be nice, you're nice and stuff. So please, if you know you are an artist, upcoming artist, I've already agreed with my boy here, which is my big brother. He's going to feature on your album. We will try as much as possible to see how to make that very particular thing work for you, because we are 4 Africans. And for me, that is one of the biggest things. And I was saying to him off air, and I'm going to say it on air, I'm looking forward working with him on a project we're trying to do come next year. Please pray for us. And also as you pray for us, the day I'm going to make an advert for funding and for you to support, don't be spiritual. Enter your bank account, open your app. You know those places where my mother like putting money here, and my grandmother like putting money here. All of you open here, and you bring the money out. Final question. Okay, second to last question that I want to ask. What is your favorite scripture? I know you're a pastor, but it's quite interesting to ask a pastor what's your favorite scripture. What's your favorite scripture that keeps you going when you find yourself walking in the valley of the shadow of death?
Interestingly, recently, I feel Jeremiah, the scripture that says that call on me and I will answer you and I'll show you
great and mighty things
that you didn't know. It's been like my recent scripture that's been on my heart. Jeremiah,
I think that makes sense, right? Because you were just saying now that you wanted to sing a song that you've never sung. I mean, you never sang. So now I see why the scripture. Okay, I see where it's coming from now. Okay.
Yeah, so that for me is a scripture that it's been my spirit. Yeah.
Now the next question is: I know you've actually featured or probably worked with all of the artists.
Not all, but a lot. Yeah.
No, I just feel like you work with everybody.
Not everybody.
But
yeah.
which of the artists? I know it's going to be a catch-22 question. Which of your 3 top artists you've worked with, and you're looking forward to working with them again?
Well, a lot of the guys that I've worked with, some of them have passed on. Your Oliver Mtukudzi, your Brahim Masekela. Those were great musicians that I would never forget their impact in my career, in my life.
I say he's a celeb. Do you hear the name he's calling?
But over the last couple of months, I've not been a name person. I'm not so looking forward to names. But there's a guy that I really enjoy the innovation that he brought into African music, Richard Bonner. He's a bass player from Cameroon, and meeting him again. I've met him before. I was playing a show before him at one of the festivals here in South Africa. But I've never really sat with him and exchanged ideas musically. I think somebody like that would be nice to hear, how he approaches music, what he thinks about when he writes, but now one-on-one, not just what he has said on YouTube. Yeah. One-on-one, sitting with him and connecting, and he's one person I would like to. But other than that, I'm just a very I'm chilled to say anybody, as long as they've got talent and we've got a meeting point, we are able to create stuff.
I know obviously the current what you call celebs that are currently in the industry, your music.
I don't actually. What? I don't know celebrities. I meet people by the day and I get surprised. Oh, okay. I get surprised, honestly. By the day.
You know Nadia Nakai?
Yeah, I know Nakai.
Okay. Zinkle?
Zinkle.
The
DJ Zinkle, yeah. Yes, I like her. I like
her.
I know of them, so
Kasper?
I don't know them. Of course, I know Caspar Uvest, of course.
Master C?
I know Master C, yes.
Loiso?
You see that genre? See that genre? I just know of them. I listen to one or two of their tracks. Nice. Yeah. So what I also do is, when I have an artist who does that genre, then I listen to all that they've done, so that I have an idea before we now recreate for my artist. But on my own, to say, I'm not a music consumer, unfortunately.
But you're a music producer.
Yes, I'm not a consumer. I don't.
Are you saying that the reason why you don't consume is because you don't want to taint your mind as to the genre?
No, because I enjoy general music. I do music generally. I don't consume in the sense that I don't know the artists. I don't follow trends to say, oh, this is what is hot, and then I know all the artists in that genre.
I think the hot thing now is Afrobeat and Amapiano. That's what it is.
Yes, Afrobeat and Amapiano. Yeah. Now you can imagine it's the 18-year-olds, 25-year-olds that do that. Now, but I listen to them to recreate. It's true. So I listen to that to recreate, and I find how to add my jazzy chords and my into that to see how to spice it up. You know what I mean? Okay. So I don't get to follow and know all the guys there.
I understand. I think because the question I wanted to ask is, among these Gen Zs or these, like you say, 18 to 25, which of the people you want to work with? But obviously, I understand where you are coming from. Now, your parting message that you want people to resonate with you after the show is over, and let's say somebody bump you on the road, and when the show is going to be premiered, what is that message that they must take from you, or they will experience when they meet you?
Just be the best that you could ever be. Like I said, my philosophy in life is what is worth doing at all. Like my father taught me, what is worth doing at all is worth doing well. Do it with your heart, do it passionately, and try to innovate, try to find better ways of doing stuff. I was talking to a gospel artist yesterday, and he's been around since the 90s. And I was saying to him that if you record with me, please be aware that I like to add spice. I don't like to do things the way they've always been done. I believe in adding a little bit of something different that,
Has the gospel artist worked with you before?
No.
Okay, let me warn you, please. As you go work with him, be careful when he plays that chord. No, he added the spice. The spice made me did not go back to school the following day. I made peace. But no, I really appreciate you. Thank you so much for coming. And one of the things I want to say to you, I know I have never said this to you before. as my ego in this country, thank you for the sacrifice you have done.
Thank you.
You have no clue that what you have done thus far, there are many of us you have actually motivated. Many of us you have actually inspired. I told you my story as to when I found out that my visa was South Africa, and I was looking for, okay, who is there? And the first person I saw was literally you. I mean it. Thank you for just being you.
Thank you.
I know that, yes, you might have made some mistakes in the journey of your life, but hear me, that mistake has formed you to become the man you are today. Never apologize for the things that you have done past, but always look forward to the things that is ahead of you. I don't need to be a pastor to you because you're a pastor. But for me, I just wanted to know that I see you, sir.
Thank you.
The private tears that you share, I know that, yes, you were trying as much as possible to come out of it, but know me that behind the scene, I still pray with you.
Yeah.
I remember this morning, by the time I was praying and meditating, and I'm like, but God, you know this man better than I do. I don't know what is that thing that he's desiring for, but God, answer him. Let the show be that thing that is going to be a portal. Let it be a Bethel. That after this very particular show, something just popped. Something just come out. But in it all, I just want you to know that I love you so much from the depth of my heart. Forget anything they've said about me to you. I don't know if they've actually said, because it will come one day. It will come one day, especially now that I'm back. It will come. But just know that I really love you. Thank you for being authentic, you. Thank you for making us to know that there is still hope at the end of the tunnel. 20 years thus far, I'm 20 plus years. I'm going 15, but every time I look at it, I'm like, but God, if you help Kunle Ayo, you can help me.
Amen.
You can help me.
Amen.
Thank you.
Amen.
Thank you. And thank you.
God bless you.
Now, I want you to list, as we close, I want you to list 3 artists in your industry that you want them to come to AfriOne show.
The thing
I know he's thinking now in his mind, don't call old school, because we like calling names of 1980 something, 1990 something. Call my Gen Z. It's okay. Find a way of cracking your mind. That's why you're on the AfriOne show. And don't call Nigerians. So now he's thinking. Yeah, I'm saying this so that he can think.
Oh God.
Yeah. So as I'm saying,
call artists that you know that are doing great and are inspiring young people.
No, but I want you to call their names. you see the politics. He's forgotten that he's with me. No, you will call names because I know you must.
I don't know names. Okay, I'm not good with names. Even when I meet you, if I don't see you again for another few months, I don't remember names. But faces I remember. Same thing for musicians. You know.
But you work with a lot of musicians. You should know names.
I do, but I am not good with names. I'm good with.
Okay,
faces.
describe. Describe, like, okay, do they have big head? Is their nose long?
There's nobody with big head. Let me Google.
Family, literally, he is Googling. Okay, while he is Googling, please just know that we're about to come to the end of the show. AfriOne concept is for us to come together to see how we can unite, how we can elevate one another, at the same time also how we can come with a creative innovation. Please, I want to encourage you, share this very particular podcast, subscribe to it, make sure that you click the bell button, because at AfriOne, we're all about uniting one another and to make sure that all of the differences we have, even in our diversity, it is still good, but how can we cement it to make sure that we also build our own Tower of Babel, so that at the end of it all, people can know that Africa, we still have great minds that are still in this continent. With that being said, and I'm back again to my question. He's still Googling.
I'm still Googling. Okay, I see Casper University here. I see Questa here.
Okay.
Since you're saying young people, I see Nasty C. So you can invite those guys.
So Casper, no, not invite those guys. You tell them that they should come, so that I'll play the video and tell them that you see.
Okay.
So
yeah, you can invite Casper. I know he's very innovative. I like what he's doing.
Okay.
In terms of encouraging and showing a great thing for young people. Questa,
okay.
and Anati. Maybe Anati, yes.
Anati.
Maybe you should get Anati,
Okay.
yes.
So Casper, Questa, Anati. Your fellow comrade in the industry has nominated you guys to be on this very particular show, and we're going to do everything possible. We'll send it to your management so that you see and so that you can be on the AfriOne show. Let's just come talk all things Africa, leadership, business, career part. But one of the things I've actually promised every one of you is the fact that we don't do gossip here. Enough of the gossip. There's a lot of problems we are facing in this continent. Gossip must come to an end, and for us to see how we can build a continent that we all love together. Thank you so much for being on this very particular show. I look forward to inviting you again.
Thank you.
Same time when you're having your project, please let us know so that I can make a shout out. Maybe I'll do one day, I'll do a live drive to your show. And just to make sure that we come together as AfriOne and see what we can also collaborate and do together on your very particular show. With that being said, I remain your host, Darlington Stephen. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Kunle Ayo, the producer, the founder, the CEO. He said executive producer of Keiko Production. If you want to do your music and you're trying to look for somebody who is going to put a vibes in it, please make sure that you reach out to him, or probably you can send us an email. We'll definitely get his content and send it across to you with his permission. With that being said, where can they find you?
You can find me everywhere. I'm on all social media platforms. On
It's everywhere. I almost think that you're in Pluto.
I'm on Instagram, Kunle Ayo. I am on Facebook, Kunle Ayo. Just, everywhere. Just say Kunle Ayo. You would find
Which
me.
place is easy for people to chat with you that you can respond?
Instagram.
Okay.
Instagram. DM me on Instagram, and yeah.
All right, it's a wrap. I'll see you again on the next episode. Bye for now, and God bless you.